Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, welcome to the Planning Commission meeting called to order on 4th of September. Welcome to our guests, frequent guests, right? Approval of minutes in your packet. Anybody have any concerns with these? All, motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So moved, Chad.
Okay.
Jeff, you have anything?
No, sir.
Timmy?
No, sir.
Liz?
No.
Bruce? You're gonna be next, right? Zoning appeals case. You're up.
All right, I have two hearings for zoning, appeals this month. First one is for special exception 509, application submitted by Cheryl Del Prado for a special exception to establish a bed and breakfast inn. The property is located at 29 Glen Meadow Road, tax map 59, parcel 309, lot 25, and is zoned like residential 1. Special exceptions, you guys have the right to comment to the Board of Appeals if you wish.
You guys see any issues with it at all?
I've gotten a letter from the HOA already that says they're not allowed to do it there, so,
Okay.
Beyond that, no.
Anybody have any concerns with this? Liz, anything?
It's gonna be a matter of whether this is worse right there than anywhere else in the zone.
I'm trying to picture Meadow Run in mind.
That's right off Beckman's,
Ah, okay. That's why I couldn't picture.
first road to
Yeah.
the left as you go
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Is it permitted in Lake Residential 1 with
By special
special
exception, it's permitted there.
When you say the HOA doesn't
But
agree.
that's only from a zoning point of view, there could be HOA implications.
I talked to some of the people, there's a little controversy over, I think they don't allow commercial uses, but we categorize bed and breakfast as residential. So it's a type of residential use.
TVRUs, like
So.
that.
Interesting.
Okay, send it on down then.
Okay. Second case is SE 510, application submitted by Americo Real Estate Company, the real estate developer for U-Haul moving and storage, for a special exception to allow truck and trailer rentals. The property is located at the intersection of Garrett Highway and Glendale Road, tax map 58, parcel 424, grid 16, and is zoned town residential, or town center, I'm sorry. This is, would be up behind Royal Farms and Dollar General where those are being built. It'd be the third commercial lot that's up in the back corner.
That's the one all the way if you're facing to the left, back towards Glendale.
As you're facing it, would be all the way up and into
To the right.
To the right, okay.
It's where the big wall is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This becomes a
What's the
special
proposed-
exception.
This is what they're proposing for a building?
Yeah, this was like the general idea. So if you want to do outside truck and trailer rentals, that becomes the special exception. They could do just a general
It's not
retail
building
store or
for
something
you
there,
all.
but
Place.
Oh, that's probably climate controlled storage.
Oh,
yeah, I think there is a storage element to
Oh,
it as
okay.
well.
There is a storage element, and it's allowed by right there.
Mhm. There's another view of it.
Anybody have any concerns with this? Jeff, anything?
No.
Steve, send it on down.
All right.
Under
That's
control,
it
is
for
that
me.
all of them?
That's it for me.
Cool. Major subdivisions.
Yeah, so Aaron's back again. You're all familiar with the their plat. We just did the road waiver on it. So Aaron's now submitted the subdivision plat. There are contingencies on this one, a little more than normal, but because you've seen it and you're familiar with it, what they basically want to do is go ahead and create that first lot here. How many acres is that, Aaron? 11 acres, so they're gonna do the 11-acre lot. Right here, there's a hammerhead turnaround, so we're considering that road at least coming up to this point right now. I've sent the road to the third, we don't have a county engineer right now, so I have to send road plans to a third-party reviewer. It's into them. So this would be contingent on the road plan coming back approved and any grading plans that we need to look at. Since we've kind of taken a long time with this, I know Aaron and I went back a long time, or many times, about how we deal with this. I told him I'd present this to you as a contingent final approval, contingent on the road plan. Before we would release it, once we get the road plan all approved, if there's no changes, then they would still have to submit a bond and everything, or build the road, one or the other, before I would actually allow it to be released. But we're kind of hoping some of those things are going to be happening maybe in the next month before the next meeting. I believe Health Department signed the plat. Brandon from Public Utilities is out, so both the plats he's going to sign later on this week.
Anybody have any questions with this? Bruce?
The rest of them are up past that.
I see you looking at the map.
Yeah,
That's why.
this is
The bottom.
yeah, as you come
Yeah.
up the road, this is the first on the right.
Mhm.
And then, of course, what's on the left is what's going to end up becoming the lot line adjustment for Steve Green down there, where his cursor is. That's the lot line adjustment area that we're going to be doing. So we have to have this road, this subdivision basically creates the road extending up to give more frontage and more access for the road for the residue.
Yeah, and Aaron and I talked about it. We put a note here about future development is going to require another look at that road, because we're ending it right here just to give this first lot frontage. At this point, Aaron has kind of a paper cul-de-sac drawn up here. If they want to develop more lots up here or additional lots, they'll have to extend that road and keep looking at it. And I provided the Planning Commission's a waiver letter from the Planning Commission to the reviewer regarding the road slopes, and they're limited to 10 lots with that. So whatever they do, whether they're dividing up this or additional lots up there, can't exceed 10 unless they bring that road into compliance with the slope requirements.
Does that goes past that speed bump?
Yeah, the steep spot's clear down there, the bottom of the bottom. That gets us clear up there. What we're going to be bonding is up past the turnaround, so we get the necessary lot width on the front. We also gave the contractor the plan that gets us clear to the top of the hill. So, I believe he's probably going to get two numbers. One is what's required for bonding to meet the major subdivision requirements, and then how much would it be to actually go ahead and fix it all the way up to the top so we can do future phases. I mean, limited to 10 lots, but.
And this would all be contingent on that road plan getting approved. So if the road plan, if it comes back and for some reason these curves don't work or something, we would just have to, you'd have to amend it, we have to bring it back to you. So this is, if you decide to give it approval, it would be contingent on no major changes to this plat. It would be that the road plan gets approved, any stormwater
And
gets
I
approved.
refresh my memory, the current scenario then allows for 10 lots, right?
Yes.
Yeah, based on the waiver.
Right.
Yeah.
And
10 lots
and if-
using 16% slope maximum.
And if they ever wanted to do more, they'd have to bring the road in compliance at that.
Yeah, you capped it at 10.
You had to do some switchbacks or something.
Mhm.
Where does this fall? Where's the old Ridgeview Valley or whatever it was called up there?
If you go to the north of this property, Ridgeview Valley is the northern adjoiner.
It's on up top, okay.
Yep. So remember, this is the road that they use to get to the top of Ridgeview Valley to put the buried water tank in.
Okay,
So when you get up to the top and make the turn, you end up on Ridgeview Valley. And it's possible that when Ridgeview Valley gets built out, you could connect Ridgeview Valley's road in up there. There's also, we've been looking at trying to come in off of Limousine Ridge, but you gotta get through the Bowsers, and I don't think that he's made much headway in getting through the Bowsers. There's an old road that runs through there, but there was, I guess, no formal right-of-way for it.
Any other concerns? Motion? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So moved, Chad.
Okay. We've got a couple from Thousand Acres. Let me get those up. So this is another lot in Thousand Acres. This is lot 7. You've already seen some lots up here. These lots all front on Thousand Acres Road. So this is another one. Now, the one thing that we hadn't done yet was get the common areas approved, and that's something that just kind of slipped through because this one, typically when we do a subdivision, one of the first plats is recording all the interior roads, all common area. This one was a little different, that all these common areas and or all the lots front on a road, and we kind of missed this a little bit. So this is one of the common areas. So that's another thing you'd be looking at, and this was common area 2, and we just wanted to make sure that those were properly recorded.
Is it part of the golf course?
I do not believe these are.
It looked like that first one may have been, the common area may have been a golf
It-
ball.
Yeah, I'm not I'd have to double check. I'm not sure. So this is a little housekeeping, getting these common areas approved. They were shown on the original preliminary plat. I can bring that.
Looks like a golf hole down
So that's the subdivision line.
Dog leg left.
And these,
Dog leg left.
this was a cluster subdivision, that's why it had to have the common area, 25%, and they mainly used that to get a little smaller lot sizes, and I don't think they got any density bonus there.
Any problem with this? Motion,
I'll make the motion.
second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So moved, Chad.
Okay. I don't really have anything else other than last night I did present the farm winery to the county commissioners. We had a public hearing on that. There weren't any comments on it, so I think they now have 2 weeks and then they'll make a decision on it. But we've not really had any opposition or anybody in favor of it either. Really haven't had any comments on it, so that should happen in a few weeks.
I guess we were talking about something. Is there issues that the planning commission can help with you guys to define some things that are going on, some of these newfangled tiny houses or whatever, is there anything that, I'm just asking that question hypothetically, if there's anything you can think of.
Not really. So that's another thing we're doing now is with our building code, we have hopefully sometime in September, we'll be presenting that for adoption of the 2021 codes. So most everything is in there. We do have issues sometimes with things like the building code it's very clear if you're a dwelling unit. If you've got a bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, you're a dwelling unit, and that requires several other requirements. That requires sprinkler systems, that requires energy code, that requires everything. We have sometimes people wanting to build things that have 1 or 2 of those. They might have a sleeping area or something, and that's hard for us to define. I don't know if it's something really that the planning commission help with. It's something where I think the building code is a little vague on. The code has requirements for an accessory building, just a garage or shed, and has requirements for houses. The things that are in between take some of our judgment, and we get into situations sometimes where it can be hard to know what to call them if they don't have a kitchen. So we have to try to use our judgment. I don't know that it's something really, it's a planning commission, it's more of a building.
I just wanted to ask that question about seeing.
Yeah.
Anything else, Bruce, you can think of?
Where are we at on our adopting our new codes and stuff like that?
It was put out for public hearing. There were some comments. We were going to be a little stricter about requiring architectural plans for everything, including residential, which we hadn't done before. And we had a waiver written in saying that if the building code office sees your plans and can determine that they comply with all the structural requirements in the code, we can waive the requirement for them to be architecturally drawn. But we want to have something stricter. Right now we don't have any requirements, so we sometimes don't get any plans. We sometimes get hand-drawn sketches, and we want to have more detail. We received some pushback from that. People were concerned that wasn't clear enough, that perhaps there weren't clear criteria about what we would require, and people are thinking that we were going to perhaps be requiring everything to be architectural, so the commissioners decided to hold back. They were getting some comments from people and evaluating those, and I don't have a date yet for when they'll do it. So that will, maybe September, I don't know. The commissioners will have to schedule that hearing, but we still have our amendment language and everything to amend the code kind of ready to go as soon as they schedule it.
Any other questions?
Once, it's not, you're not gonna do one, it's all one thing, right?
Yeah, so the code, there are three codes that we adopt. We adopt the International Building Code for commercial, the International Residential Code, and then the Energy Conservation Code. Those all three go at once. This time we're also adopting a mechanical code, so we have those all as one. We have specific amendments to each one of those codes, though.
Now it's pushed back a little bit, is that what I'm
Yes, we were hoping to go live with it September 1st. We were thinking we'd have the hearing and then have the approval, but again, there were concerns about mainly that part of the architectural requirements. So commissioners received some comments and they wanted to pull back, evaluate those comments. They could, they have different options. They could direct us as staff to revise that and put something different in there, or they could just go with the way it was written originally. So I don't know how.
Pushback though, right?
I would think, because they still, typically they'll have a hearing, and it was presented, they were going to vote on it. So I did present it in a hearing, but they have not adopted yet. They wanted to hold back on the adoption of it. So.
To answer your question about you mentioned tiny houses in your things that might be up in the air. There is actually a section in the 2018 that is specifically addressed. There are some leniencies there for stairs in a tiny house,
Right.
like a loft area and so forth.
You and I talked about that before, I think, whenever we had that situation.
Those are still considered houses though by us, so I
They
think
are, yeah.
it's some of the situations where they're not technically a house because they don't have all those elements that get trickier to
saying?
administer.
Things like that? Is that
Yeah,
what I'm-
those sort of things. So leeway there, but it's complicated. The ordinance the codes don't have a clear path for some of those things, so it gets hard to enforce.
And of course, the state fire marshal has their own interpretation about those as well. for
Mhm.
Anything where they're sleeping,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so.
I'm sure.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, next meeting's in October, right?
Yep.
Meeting adjourned.
Okay, thanks.
Get together.